Hello, Gunter and Belen. Wow. Both of you at the same time. V Gates. I'm okay. How are you guys doing? Hello, Mora. Hello, Egg. Oh, come on. Get out of there. There we go. Stupid cables. Tiramos pa'lante. I don't know. What would that be? Well, we move forward or we keep going? Maybe? It's probably very similar to keep calm and carry on, you know, or in Chinese they say jiao. Hello, Diego. Hello, Asma. Yeah, jiao. Jia means add, and yo means oil. So jiao means like add fuel to the fire. Sorry, I'm eating a little bit, everybody. I have some pistachios I'm eating. I'm hungry. Well, the proper spelling would be although I didn't give you the right tones. And it's pronounced jiao. Work is over, the sun is shining. What more do we want? Okay. Is it still burning hot? It's not quite as hot here, Gunter. You guys have it really bad. It only gets up to about 34 or 35 here. So, I never heard back from my brother about his chainsaw. And we have a small one, and it actually died. It broke. And it's not worth fixing because it's only like 50 bucks or 40 bucks. So, we bought another one. Another just mini, just a tiny one. But I haven't tried using it yet, so I don't know how it is yet. I think it'll be fine. It got good reviews. It's just a cheap, I think it's just a cheap Chinese one. $49? Wow, that's insane. Is that real? No. How's that possible? $120 Fahrenheit? Wow, that's insane. Huh. Wow. Crazy. You look like roasted potatoes. Don't say that. I like roasted potatoes. You fixed 2 chainsaws this morning. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. 34 feels like 46. Yeah, we have it kind of like that here too, where the temperature will be 34, but it actually feels like 36 or 37 or 38 because of the humidity. Yeah, and Texas heat is dry heat, and that feels, I don't know, that some people think dry heat is better. I think it's worse. Okay, so today is English Q&A session. What does Q&A mean? Do you know? Does anybody know what Q&A means? Question and answer. That's right. So if you have questions, I have answers. And if you want to, you can raise your hand and come on stage and ask me. Okay? Just let me eat a few more pistachios and then we'll start. Okay? You have 2, okay? Hello, Frances. Yes, Gunter Pistachios. Raymond, what? What are you talking about, Raymond? Bellin, I was just reading an article about how most people in Europe don't have air conditioning, but almost everybody in America does. Oh, Raymond. Pistachios. Pistachio. Pistachio. You are free to ask about anything. Anything except religion and politics. Okay, so if you have questions, you can ask them. Or raise your hand and come talk to me. 现在我吃开心果。会啊。 Okay, let's see. So in the black, that's a good question. Um, so why does in the black mean profitable and in the red means not good? Um, so that's because a long time ago, when they would write down the accounting, when they would write the accounting, if it was a good number, they wrote it in black. If it was a positive value, like a positive profit value, then they would write it in black. If they lost money, they would write it in red. So it was about the ink. So in the black and in the red is talking about when they would write the books a long time ago, the financial books. If it was profitable, it was written in black. If it was not profitable, it was written in red. Okay? There you go. Let's see. Why am I eating? I'm eating because I'm hungry. If you're asking why I'm eating because I'm hungry, if you're asking what, I'm eating pistachios. Yes, you can ask me about your plan for studying for an exam. Sure. Let's see. A nice cortado would be nice right now. Yes. I miss breakfast at that small cafe too, Gunter. Honestly, Gunter, I think that those breakfasts that we had together in that little cafe, those are some of the best breakfasts I've ever had in my life. It wasn't big, it wasn't really fancy, but it was perfectly quaint and delicious, and the atmosphere is the best. It was nice, quaint coffee house where you could sit. It was a little noisy, but actually I like a noisy coffee shop because it means that it's bustling, it's busy, it's got an energy, you know, a good energy, you know. People are coming there to feel better, to get coffee, you know. So, anyway. Black Friday isn't bad. That's right, it's not. But that has nothing to do with in the black and in the red. Those are two idioms that are used in finances, okay, in the financial world, in the financial industry. They say that it's in the black means that you're doing well. It means that you made a profit. But if you say our company is in the red this year, that means you're losing money. We are in the red or we are in the black. In the black means profitable, in the red means not. Okay? But Black Friday is a very different thing. If you have a question, ask me your question. You can't remember the name. Yeah, I can't remember the name either. Let's find out what it was, Gunter. I'm going to look. There's Retiro Park. And I believe we were right here. And let's see. Retiro Park. No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. I can't find it. Where's our little coffee shop? I'll be so sad if they're gone. Maybe Bellin can help us find it. Bellin, where was that? I can't find the coffee shop. I don't know why I can't find it. It should be right here. There's the turnaround. The apartment should be right in here. There's one here, it's called Santa Gloria Coffee, but that's not what I remember it. I don't remember that being the name. Let's see. No, that's not the one we went to. Well, anyway, I'll look for it. I'll find it later, Gunter. It's got to be here somewhere. Harina, that was it. Harina, yes, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't see. That was it. Harina, yes, that was great. Love that place. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back and check the comments, and then I do see somebody's raising their hand. Ozma and Raymond. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll get to you in just 1 second. Let me just check a couple more comments. Let's see. Okay, Egg says the word yield means to lead to and also to surrender. Right. Why is that? I think those meanings have different or opposite meanings. Okay, yeah. So yield. Yield means to stop or to give way to someone else, like they're first, right? And the word yield is the word that they used to use that meant stop. So, for example, Egg, a long time ago, maybe you're having a fight with somebody, a duel, right? And you have a sword, and they have a sword, and you're fighting each other, and now you're on the ground and you're losing. So you raise your hand and you say, I yield. I yield means I give up. So to yield means to stop or to allow someone else to go first or be first, right? Be the winner, right? Like they're the winner, essentially. Okay, so I'm going to look to see if there's anything more about the etymology, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yield. To yield comes from... Oh, that's interesting. Wow. How about that? Okay, so I didn't know this. The word yield actually comes from the Dutch word gelden, which means cost. It means like it's to be worth something or to pay. So this is funny. Now, look, this is what's crazy about English. That meaning, the meaning I just told you, doesn't exist anymore. So the original meaning of the word yield actually was to pay someone. But that meaning doesn't actually exist anymore. Let me read, hold on. The sense of to give in return for labor or capital invested is from the early 14th century to the intransitive sense of giving oneself up, submitting, surrendering to a foe. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. Okay. So, yield, the only meaning that still has a meaning like money is the earnings that you have. The yield of the company is how much did it yield? It means how much did it provide? How much did it pay? Right? And that actually comes from the old word gelden, which was related like gold, right? Money. But Yeah. So then the other meaning is to stop or to give up, and that's where we get the idea of um, to allow someone to go first is to yield. I yield to you, sir. Means you win. It's like you can go. You're the winner. You're first. I'm second. Right? So that's where yield comes from. All right? Okay. And but is the meaning to this word common? They're all common in their different fields, yes. So a yield, the word yield is very common for traffic. It's a traffic sign. In America, you'll see a sign that says yield, means to stop and wait for others to go first. You can't go first. You have to wait for others to go first when the sign says yield. Okay? And if you're a company and you're talking about how much did we yield, or a scientist, maybe you put together different chemicals, and when you have the result is what it yields, it produces. Okay, farmer, the harvest is also called the yield. How much did it pay? How much did it provide? Okay. Okay, and can you give me some suggestions of how you should say long sentences when you talk to someone in English and you think you learned all grammar? Well, yeah, my question is the same question as Asma. Why do you need to say long sentences? Every long sentence is just a few short sentences put together. Can you say 4 short sentences? If you can say four short sentences, then you can say 1 long one. Okay? I went to the store. I bought some milk. I paid the man. I went home. Those are 4 sentences. I went to the store, then I bought some milk, then I paid the man, then I went home. That's 1 sentence. Right? So just don't think of them as long. Think of them as short. Okay? Hello to all the new people. Asma says, I thought yield is speaking loudly. No, that's the word yell. Yell. Y-E-L-L is to yell, means to speak loudly and angrily, usually, or excitedly, or surprising, like a surprised feeling. Yeah. Okay? Debbie is giving you some pretty good advice, Vivi, about passive and active vocabulary. Am I familiar with the Let Us Go curriculum for kids? I am not. No, sorry. Okay, let's talk to Asma first, and then we'll talk to Raymond if we have time. Hello, Asma.
Hi.
How are
Hello.
you?
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. So, what can I do for you today?
It wasn't that bad. Today is our weekend, and on weekend, as always, I just try to make plan for forthcoming week.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any questions for me or something that you want help with? Yeah?
Uh, about planning, because I want to plan for forthcoming week for these 3 months actually. I will study for English, but sometimes I don't know I should focus on which criteria, because I want to take IELTS exam,
Mm-hmm.
and it's important for me to get 7.5.
Mm.
And I already took this exam, but I got 6.5. And it's not enough. I should retake it. And most of my mistakes were related to grammars.
Okay.
And sometimes I get panic when I want to talk to a person in front of the examiner, and even for writing, when I want to write something on time, that time limitation gives me a stress, and I can't focus on them.
Okay.
And I don't know how I should practice to improve these problems, and which kind of practice is good.
Okay.
I just want to,
So
use these 3 months in a good way. Yeah.
let's start with make some notes. Write this down. There are 8 different things that you really need to work on. Actually, I'll change that. I'm going to say 9 for you. So there are 9 things for you to work on. And that means you need 9 different plans for practice. Okay? So here are the 9 things that you need to work on: reading, writing, listening, speaking. Those are the 4 that everybody knows, right? The 5th one is thinking. The 6th one is grammar. 7th is vocabulary. 8th is pronunciation. And for you, the 9th one will be timing. And by that, I mean practicing under time limits. That's something that you should practice, right? So when you have to take a test, they have a time limit. You know, if there was no time limit, we wouldn't be so worried. But there is a time limit, and the time limits are really stressful, right? So you need to practice that. You need to practice the idea of being under a time limit when you do things so that you become more comfortable with that. Okay? So, now that you have the 9 things that you need to work on, now you need to make a plan for each one of those. How am I going to work on my reading? What am I going to do? And make a plan. Write it down. Figure it out, right? How am I going to work on my vocabulary? Write it down. Now, all of these, if you go to my website, there is a button on my website called Resources. And I took the time to try to go online and find all of the best free resources for studying English that I could find. And I put them all on my website in one place. And guess what? They're organized with these different things. So if you want to work on your reading, click on reading. If you want to work on your writing, click on writing. And every resource that I can find that's good, that's free, it's there for you. And there's a button also for TOEFL and IELTS. You can click on that, and every great resource I know for practicing and studying and tips about the IELTS, it's all on my website. Okay, so then another very important thing that people need to remember when you're studying for a test, you need to practice and focus on your weaknesses more than your strengths. So, many people, when they study, they focus on the things that they're already good at. That's not going to help you. You're already good at that. So if you're great at speaking, that's not what you need to worry about. You need to worry about what you're not good at. So that's what you should spend most of your time doing, right? So when you make your plan, think about those 9 things and think about which ones are the worst for you. Which ones are like the 3 worst. And those are the ones that you should spend the most time on. And then you should think about which one is the most, your highest, your strength. Like, what's your strength? Is speaking your strength? Is reading your strength? Is listening your strength? Whatever your strength is, work on it, but not too much. Okay? Because that's already, you're already good at that. We only have a limited amount of time, so you should focus on what you need to. Okay? And then, create a system. Okay, so when I say make a plan, it has to have details. Okay? You can't just say, I'm gonna read. That's not a plan. You know, when I say, what's your plan for reading? Well, I read a lot. No, that's not a plan. There's no detail there. I need detail. What are you reading? Are you reading books? Are you reading novels? Are you reading short stories? Are you reading poetry? Are you reading articles and news? Are you reading academic stuff? Or what are you reading? And there are so many kinds of reading. All of those. You can practice any of those. You know, read poetry, read academic articles, read restaurant reviews, read movie reviews, read anything that you can read, but read. Okay? And be specific. Don't just say, well, I read a lot. This is the thing that I've learned a lot. People ask me all the time. They say, I'm very serious about learning English. I really want to learn English. And then when I ask them, well, what are you doing now? How do you work on it? And they say, well, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. That's not a plan. That is not a plan. That's lazy, right? So I always tell everybody that you should think about it like you're the general of an army and you're going into battle. Okay? And you have the responsibility of your soldiers' lives. So you should have a good plan, right? Don't be lazy. Have a good plan so that you go forth knowing that you're doing the best you can do, right? So, then make your plan, write it down, keep it in front of you, and then remember, Asma, that I also tell everybody that learning should be part of your lifestyle. So if you can sit down and practice for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, that's great. But if you can practice in the morning and maybe 5 minutes when you're getting ready in the morning, and also when you're making breakfast, if you can think about English, and when you're going to the store, you can think about English, now you're not just practicing 3 hours, you're practicing 6 hours, because you're doing some time just when you're living. You're living your life, right? Yeah, I don't know what happened to the sound, everybody. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know why the sound got very noisy. Sorry about that. I don't know why. I think it's Hello Talk. So, Asma, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
What you mentioned, one thing that I should work on is thinking. What do you mean by thinking?
Yeah, okay. So let me mute you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. What do I mean by thinking? Thinking is the most important part of any language, and that's the reason why everybody follows me, is because I tell you that if you don't know how to think in the language that you're speaking, then you're not really speaking that language. You're translating everything in your mind and then speaking. That's not how language is supposed to work. So what you need to do is you need to learn how to train your mind to use English when you think. So when you're hungry, don't think I'm hungry in Persian. Think I'm hungry in English. When you're tired, don't think I'm tired in Persian. Think I'm tired in English. Do that as much as you can all day. Anything that you can think in English, try to. So I live in the United States, but I can practice my Chinese anytime I want to, just by thinking in Chinese while I do anything that I'm doing. Right? I just live in a Chinese mind here. So I'm in the United States, but when I go outside, if I go to the store, I just think about everything that I'm doing in Chinese, and then I'm practicing. And then what happens is many people say, I want to be fluent. I want to be fluent. I want to be fluent. But what they really want is they want to be comfortable with the language. That's what they're looking for, is they want to feel comfortable. If you can think in English, then you will feel comfortable speaking English. The problem is when you can't think in English, then you have to translate and find the words and think about it and consider it. And now you're getting nervous. And so that's why the secret of any language is understanding that you have to learn how to read and write and listen and speak, but you also need to learn how to think in that language.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned your website.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you have a website. where I can find your website?
Yeah.
Do you have it on your profile?
Yes, right here. If you go to this link that I just put there, it's linktr.ee/AFIEC English. If you go to that link there, you should find my website and my YouTube and my podcast. Okay, so you can
Great.
follow any of those.
And I have another question about the reading. I mostly want to focus on IELTS exam, and the topics in IELTS exam are a bit different from, speaking in general. So I want to just prepare for this exam right now. And do you think it's better to read those books that are related to IELTS exam, like Cambridge books?
Okay, yeah.
Read,
yes and no. So I tell everybody, if you're going to take the IELTS test, yeah, you should get some good study books. But now I've changed a little bit. I think the study books are still good. And Cambridge is good, and Barron's is good, and Kaplan. Those are the three companies I usually recommend. Oxford is also good. But now the better way to do it is with a course online. They have many courses online that you can sign up for and subscribe to, and it's a course. And the reason why the course is better is because the books get old and the test will change. And if you're studying for a new test with an old book, maybe it's not a good thing, right? But the courses are always up to date. They're always up to date.
Yeah. By reading, I don't mean the test for reading. The reading itself, like reading a magazine or something like that.
So you need, like, where can you find material like that? Is that what you're wondering?
No, I do know where I should find them, but I don't know which one is better. Some people say it's better to read through, for example, National Geography and get idea, and it's great even for writing. And some people say it's better to read just old, the books that for Cambridge test, that you only focus on the reading itself, so the passage, not the books.
There are two things I can tell you. One is there's a famous magazine in America called Scientific American. I think it's scientificamerican.com. And they have great articles that are written at a very high academic level. They're great material for practicing reading for like academic level scientific reading. Also, to be honest, the number one best source for academic reading is ChatGPT. You just have to ask ChatGPT, please write an article for me at C2 level. And just tell it, write an article about biology with C1, C2 level, or write an article about culture with C1, C2 level, and include questions about comprehension and a vocabulary list. It will do that for you. I do that with my students all the time. It's very, very useful because you can tell it how long it should be, how many words it should be, so you can find out how long is the reading on the IELTS test and then tell it to do the exact same thing. And then you can set a timer and you can practice with a timer and you can do many, many, many of them. It will continue to make new ones for you, right? And you just tell it, I want to practice for my IELTS. I need reading, and I need reading that's at a C1, C2 level. And I need comprehension questions and a vocabulary list as well. Okay? If you do that, that will give you a lot to practice. Okay?
Oh, thank you. And which method is better for reading? I mean, just read the article or read it? Because some people say it's better to read articles and then summarize it for yourself, and even record yourself, because in this way you can practice for all of the skills: writing, speaking and also reading.
Sure.
But
Yeah. That
it takes
Yeah, it does
takes
take a long time. It does. Yeah, yeah, it does take a long time. But guess what, Asma? Human beings, we want to do things faster and we want to do things easier, right? So that's the nature of being a human is we're lazy. So we like to do things efficiently. And that's true about most things in life are better when you think about efficiency. But there is one thing in life that's not good if you're considering efficiency, and that's learning. Learning is not about efficiency. You're not supposed to get there the fastest and the easiest. You're supposed to get there the best. And so that means that sometimes the methods that you need to use might take time. But guess what, Asma? You know, lots of people, they memorize vocabulary words and then they forget them. Do you know why?
even me.
Okay, do you know why? Do you know why you forget memorized words?
For me, I think it's mostly because I don't try to active what
Mm-hmm.
I learn by using them when I want to talk to person, and
Yeah,
sometimes I'm lazy to review them.
right.
I
So,
add vocabulary in Anki Droid.
mm-hmm.
I have an application named Anki
Okay.
for reviewing
Right. I know
vocabulary.
that one. So
Yeah.
here's why. The reason why memorizing doesn't work is because memorizing is very shallow learning. It's very shallow. So, it's fast, it's efficient, but here is the rule of learning, everybody. Please listen. The faster you learn, the faster you forget. The slower you learn, the slower you forget. So if your method is fast and efficient, great, but you're not going to remember it. It's not a deep enough learning. But if you slow down and find deeper methods of learning, it will take longer, but when you get there, you will know it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, what I tell people is that some people, they think about learning like the point of learning is to get to the top of the mountain as quickly as possible. But no, the point of learning is to know the mountain. It's not to get to the top, it's to know the whole mountain. That takes time. That takes time. Okay?
Yes, I see. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Asma, I don't know why there's noise again, but I hope that was good enough for you. I'm going to let you go because I need to talk to some other people. But it was really nice to talk to you, and just work on it and come back and see me again, okay?
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know why there was bad connection, I guess. I don't know. I think it's clear now, right? Yeah, bad connection, I guess. That's Hello Talk, not me. Okay. So, again, guys, the faster you learn, the faster you forget. The slower you learn, the slower you forget. So you should remember that learning is not an activity of efficiency. Learning is an activity of proficiency. To be proficient doesn't mean that you got there the fastest. It means you know it the best. So, do you want to talk to somebody? If you have a question about something, do you want to talk to the person who learned it efficiently or the person who learned it proficiently? Of course, you want to talk to the person who learned it proficiently, not efficiently. Okay? Yeah, memorizing is the worst way to learn. This is what I used to do to everybody. Because you need to hear this and you need to hear it well, so I'm going to use my God voice for this, okay? Memorizing is the worst way to learn. Okay? Now you'll remember. Memorizing is the worst way to learn, everybody. Don't memorize. Memorizing is basically an activity in laziness. It's like intellectual torture because you're forcing yourself to learn the words instead of trying to actually find interest in them. So, it's kind of like I tell people, if I see you in your country, if I walk down the street and I see you, and I don't say hi and you don't say hi to me, you're not going to remember me. If I say hello and you say hello, maybe you'll remember me for a few days. If I introduce myself to you and talk to you for a little bit, you'll remember me for a few months. If we go out to lunch and talk for a couple of hours and I ask you about your family and your job and your life and your travels and your goals and your dreams, and you ask me the same, you're going to remember me. So guess what? People and words are the same thing. If you spend time with people, you will remember them. If you spend time with words, you will remember them. Okay? If you don't spend any time with them, of course you don't remember. It's just like if you didn't say hi to me and you didn't spend any time with me, you're not going to remember me either. Okay? So how to spend time, what are the techniques? You mean for learning vocabulary? All right, here I go again. So I will tell you, but before I tell you, I'm going to give you my link so that you can follow me first. Because go to that link, follow me, and you can go to my YouTube and find many videos just like today. Okay? I have 82,000 followers on HelloTalk. I have been on HelloTalk for 11 years, and I've had about 4.5 years or 4 years of streaming. More than 2,000 hours of streaming. Now, why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because I say these answers a lot. They're all on my YouTube. So if you want to learn and you want good tips, then you need to have a little bit of patience and go watch a few videos and make some notes. Okay? Yeah, go to my YouTube channel and find my YouTube and watch it because I talk about this stuff all the time. Like what I'm about to tell you is my answer about vocabulary. How should you learn vocabulary? But I've answered this question 1,000 times. I even answered it just last night. So I'm going to tell you now. Okay? So there are 4 good ways to learn vocabulary. All right? One is read. Read! Reading is the number one way. Okay? Read everything that you can. Read anything that you can. Right? When you're a teacher, it is so obvious which students read and which students don't. The kids who read have incredible vocabularies. The kids who don't. Okay? I mean, honestly, every teacher knows this. Every teacher knows this. In elementary school, it's so obvious to see, oh, this kid's pretty smart. Why? Because he reads. His vocabulary is great. Why? Because he reads. Okay, so that's number 1 is read. All right? Number 2 is you need a thesaurus. Do you know what a thesaurus is? What is a thesaurus? Yes, Raymond is correct. It's a dictionary of synonyms. It's a dictionary of synonyms. So a dictionary tells you the meaning of the word. A thesaurus will tell you all of the words that have the same meaning. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. So you guys know the word angry, right? Everybody knows the word angry, correct? Okay, so here we are. Look at, this is the website. Thesaurus.com is the website. And look, you can click here too. Here's a dictionary. Here's a thesaurus. Dictionary.com, thesaurus.com. Dictionary.com, thesaurus.com. Okay, so here's a free dictionary and free thesaurus right here. All right, now I'm going to type in the word angry. And I'm going to show you, look how many words that mean almost the same or exactly the same as angry. I'm angry, I'm annoyed, I'm bitter, I'm enraged, exasperated, furious, heated, impassioned, indignant, irate, irritable, irritated, mad, offended, outraged, resentful, sullen, uptight. And those are the strong matches. And then we have more here. Affronted, antagonized, chafed, choleric, convulsed, cross, displeased, ferocious, fierce, fiery, fuming, galled, hateful, hot, huffy, ill-tempered, incensed, inflamed, infuriated, irascible, ireful, maddened, nettled, piqued, pissed off, provoked, put out, raging, riled, sore, splenetic, storming, sulky, vexed, and wrathful. So now you can just type in one word you know. Let's go up here and say sad. I feel sad. No, you don't. Today you don't feel sad. You feel depressed. You feel heartbroken. You feel melancholy. You feel mournful. You feel pessimistic. You feel somber. You feel sorrowful. And if you don't know what this word means, if you don't know what melancholy is, then click on melancholy. Oh, and look at that. It takes you to melancholy. And now you can see what's the difference between sad and melancholy. Now, when you read these words, okay, like many people ask me, how do I know when I should say melancholy and when I should say sad? How do you know when? You can't always use them. If you use a thesaurus and you look at the meaning of each word and you click on each word and just explore, you'll see which words have which relatives, which cousins. And when you see which words have which cousins, then you'll start to understand what that really means more. Like, what's the difference between sad and melancholy? When you see those other words, then you'll start to understand, okay? So that's the second way, right? Read is number one. Number two is you need to use a thesaurus, okay? Number three is you can learn by topic. By topic, okay? So the dictionary is a terrible way to learn words. Why? Because the dictionary is written in alphabetical order. And guess what? Alphabetical order has no practical value except to find the word. So the alphabetical order does not help you know anything about what this word is for, where it's used, what industry, what field, when, what context, right? Now, I hope very soon that they will have a dictionary that should do this, because that would be great. If you could say, please show me all the words that talk about being sad. And if the dictionary could show you all the words that are related to sadness, that would be great. But it doesn't. Okay? So instead, you can just choose a topic, like, for example, sports. Then type in the word vocabulary. So just do a search online for sports vocabulary words. Okay, let's do that. Take a look at this. So here is, I just typed in sports vocabulary, and now, look, here's English Club, general sports vocabulary list. And here's another one, sports word list. And here's another one. Look, they have pictures too. Lots of pictures with you know, so you can see the picture to know what it means. The Wide World of Sports, vocabulary.com. There's a YouTube one with sports. There's sports in English, comprehensive list of sports vocabulary words, 53 sports vocabulary terms in English. Right? So now you're looking for a topic, right? So type in, you know, science vocabulary words, biology vocabulary words, travel vocabulary words, cooking vocabulary words. Just type in a topic and then look for the words. The reason why that's good is because now you're looking at words that are like a family. They're all words that you will remember because they all have some connection. Okay? So, yes, and Sarah says I always use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is awesome. It's definitely great for vocabulary as well. You can ask ChatGPT, please make a comprehensive list of sports vocabulary words, and it will, and make a PDF for you even. Okay? So, there are the first three, right? So, read, that's the number one way to learn vocabulary. 2, get a thesaurus. Number 3 would be learn by topic. And the fourth way to learn vocabulary, this is my favorite way, it's a little advanced. The fourth method is maybe a little scary if you're a beginner, but if you're not a beginner, then it's great. And that's called etymology. Do you know what etymology is, everybody? What is etymology? Etymology means the history of words and where they come from and how they've changed over time. Okay? And this is a big hobby of mine. So I know many, many, many stories about where words come from. And if you learn where the word comes from, it can help you to understand the meaning better. It can help you to understand the pronunciation, the spelling. It can help you remember the word more because many, many words have a very cool story about where they come from. And if you learn that story, then you will remember. Henry says this is for scientists. No, it's not. Henry, I learned this when I was 15. And I'm a drummer. Okay? So, if you, for example, okay, let's just play. Let's just play. Give me a word. Give me any word. Give me a word, and I'll see if I can give you a good etymological story about that word. Give me some words. Let's see if I can tell you what words are from what languages and what the story is. Oh, okay, we already got one. Okay, let's look. Oh, I always love short words. Let's find out where the word gap comes from. Gap comes from Old Norse. And in Norse language, the word gap means a chasm, an empty space. That's also where we have the word gape. Gape and gap are related. Now you can remember. What does gape mean? To gape means to be wide open. Gape and gap is an open space. And it's also related to the word chasm. A chasm is a big open space, a crevice. Okay, a crevasse is another way to say it, right? Okay, so look, there's a first one right there. And guess what? When you, let's see, when you see something very surprising, what do you do? When you see something very surprising, your mouth is gaping. Your mouth is agape. So there we go. There's the first one. All right. Gap and gape and chasm and crevasse, they're all related, okay, by meaning and by etymology. Okay, bailiff is the next one. Let's look at bailiff. I think I remember this one. Bailiff. Oh, where is bailiff? Let me see something. There it is. Okay, bailiff is related to the word bail. So, let's see. The original meaning of bailiff. What is a bailiff, everybody? A bailiff is it's an officer, like a policeman, but for the court, right? So it's an officer of the court is called the bailiff, all right? And that word comes from Old French, okay? And it's almost spelled the same way. And that came from Latin, baeluvius, which the original meaning was somebody who's in charge of the castle is the bailiff, right? So it's like the guard. That's what it is. He's a guard, all right? And bailiff is related to the word bail. Do you know what bail is? Bail is the money you need to pay to get out of jail, right? So the word bail and the word bailiff are related, and the word sheriff is related. They both have that IFF ending, right? So a sheriff is also an officer, but he's the officer of the county. Okay, so a bailiff is the officer of the court, and the sheriff is the officer of the county. All right? Piano. Piano comes from Italian and Latin. The original meaning of piano in Italian, piano means soft. Piano means soft. Okay? The original meaning of piano comes from the word pianoforte, which in Italian, pianoforte means soft and loud. Okay? And that was from the creation of there was an early kind of piano was called a gravacembalo col pianoforte, which is a harpsichord with soft and loud. And it was the first time they made this instrument that could play soft and loud so well. And so they used the word pianoforte, meaning soft and loud. So, piano is an instrument that can be played very beautifully, softly. Okay? And the word smile. Smile. Let's see. Smile comes from Smilen, which was German. Ooh, wow, this one's very old. So this word comes from Proto-Germanic, and before that, it also comes from Sanskrit. Somebody was talking about Sanskrit the other day. The original meaning of smile is actually to laugh. That's the original meaning a long time ago. The word smile actually meant laugh. Hold on, I'm reading. Let's see. Oh, and the word smile is also related to the word smirk. Do you know what a smirk is? What's a smirk? What's a smirk? Yeah, that's the right spelling. What is a smirk? A smirk is a smile, but it's a smile that's kind of a mocking smile, right? So when I smile, that's a smile. A smirk is more like, okay, all right, right? That's a smirk. And smirk and smile are related. And that's what it means. A smirk is a smile that's a mocking smile. It's a mocking smile. Okay? Like a naughty, mocking smile. Okay? All right, and what other words? Let's see. Mischievous. Mischievous. That's a good word. Let's look at mischievous. Mischievous, sometimes people say. Mischief. So the word mischief is the root of that, right? And what does miss mean? In this word, the word miss means badly. It means badly. And then the word chef means something that happened. So It actually means, it's funny. The real meaning of mischief is something bad that happened to your head. It comes from the word capare, which means head. That's where we get the word kaput. If you guys know the word kaput, meaning head, to take off your head. So, mischief. Yeah, mischief comes from the word meaning bad things that happen. Yeah, like evil. Things that you do that are bad, they're mischief. Okay? So mischievous, the IOUS words or OUS words mean of that type or of that kind or in that way. Okay? The word historic comes from the word history, and the word history is very simple. What does history mean? It's stories. History is stories. That's why the word stories is in it. Right? History is a story. It's the story of what happened. Okay, so that's where history comes from. October. Yeah, that's a good one. So, all of the months of the year are named after something. So, for example, January. January comes from the Roman god Janus, Janus. And the Roman god Janus had two faces. One face looked into the future, and one face looked into the past. That's why it's January. It's the first month of the year. It looks into the future, and it looks into the past. Okay? February is named after Februa. Februa was a Roman festival. It was a holiday. And it was a holiday that was like an early spring, end of winter festival. And during this festival, they used to burn big fires. Really, really big fires, and they would dance around the fire and be around the fire. And the fire would make them sweat a lot. It would purify them. So the word February is related to the word februa, which is related to the word febrile, which means to have a fever. So the word fever is related to the word February, because in February they used to have a festival where they would dance around fires and sweat like you have a fever. Okay, so that's February. March is named after Mars, the god Mars. April, they're not entirely sure about April, but they think that April comes from a Latin word that aprile, which meant to bloom, right? So what happens in April? April is spring. That's when everything blooms, right? So that's where April comes from. May comes from the god Maya. June comes from the god Juno. And then it gets kind of interesting. Then it gets a little bit interesting because we have 12 months now, but the original Roman calendar only had 10 months. The original Roman calendar only had 10. So what did they do for that other 2.5 or 3 months? That other 2.5, 3 months, that was basically winter. That was like another winter for them. That's all it was. Now, that's why in the Roman calendar, the original Roman calendar was January, February, March, April, May, June, September, October, November, December. 10 months. Now, how do you know that's true? Because the word October, what does OCT mean? Oct. Do you know what oct means? OCT. What is oct? It's 8. That's right. So, October is the 10th month. So why does it mean 8? Because it was originally the 8th month. It wasn't the 10th month. Originally, it was January, February, March, April, May, June, September, October, 8, November, 9, December. So sept, oct, dec. I'm sorry, sept, oct, nov, dec. Sept 7, oct 8, nov 9, dec 10. All right, and so where did we get the other 2 months? Where did July and where did August come from? July is named after Julius Caesar, the great Roman emperor. He wanted a month named after himself, so July is Julius Caesar's month. And then his father, Augustus Caesar, was August. So July and August are for Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar. Okay? And then they did September, October, November, December. Okay? And why is Oct 8? Because okay, how do I say this? Because many English words come from Latin or Greek, okay? And that was the language of the Roman Empire, okay? So that was, yeah. Many words come from Latin or Greek roots, and those are Latin, Greek roots, okay? Can I explain January, February again? Sure. January is named after the god Janus. Janus was a god who had 2 faces, and one face looked into the future, and one face looked into the past. So that's why January is the first month. Okay? And February is named after the Roman celebration Februa. Februa. F-E-B-R-U-A. Februa. It was a... Februa was a festival. It was a celebration of the ending of winter and the beginning of spring, and they used to burn a lot of wood and fire. They would make a big fire and dance around the fire, and it would make them sweat a lot. And that's where we get the word fever. So February and fever are related. Okay? That's all etymology, guys. That's all etymology. Come on. That was pretty good, wasn't it? I was able to answer every question about every word. That's not bad, right? And believe me, it's not, there are not too many words I can't find a cool story for. You know? Also, the days of the week. August, since your name is August, that's even more funny. The days of the week are also named after something. They have etymology. So, Sunday. Sunday is the day of the sun. Monday is the day of the moon. Tuesday, T-I-E-W, was a god in Germany a long time ago. That's the name of the god that the Romans called Mars. Okay, so the Romans called him Mars, but the Germans called him Two. So Tuesday is the day of Two. Now, Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, those come from Norse mythology. So it's really interesting because Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, those actually come from Sumerian history. Sunday, Monday, and Saturday. Let me think. Yes. I think that's correct, yeah. Sunday, Monday, and Saturday came from Sumerians and then the Romans, okay? And Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday come from the Vikings, the Norse people, okay? Wednesday is the day of Odin. Do you know who Odin is? Who is Odin? That's right, Thor's father, right? So in the Viking history, in the Norse mythology, Odin was the father of the gods. He was the big god, right? He was the biggest god. And they used to spell his name this way. Sometimes they spelled his name W-O-D-E-N. And they pronounced it Vodin. Vodin. Okay? So, why do we spell Wednesday W-E-D-N-E-S-D-A-Y? Because of Odin. Wednesday is Woden's day. Okay? Which, Mike, that would make Thursday the day of who? Thor. The day of Thor. So Thursday is Thor's day. Friday is the day of Freya. Freya was another Viking goddess who was very popular. Okay, so Wednesday is Odin, Thursday is Thor, Friday is Freya, and Saturday is Saturn. Saturn. Okay, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're all from someplace. Okay? And you can't tell me that's not interesting. You can't tell me that's not interesting. That's interesting. And it's easy to remember because it's interesting. That's why etymology is a cool way to learn vocabulary. Because when you find an interesting story, you're never going to forget it again. So, for example, I'm going to tell you another one. The word coach. What is a coach? What is a coach? What is a coach? He's a trainer, okay? Empty the Buddy says, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are more easy to remember. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they also have a story. Every one of those words, the numbers have a story where they come from too. Okay? So, a coach is a teacher, a trainer, a mentor, somebody who helps you to learn something. Right? They're a coach. But the original meaning of coach is not that. If you lived 200 years ago or 300 years ago, and you say, I need a coach, what does that mean now? 300 years ago, the word coach did not exist the way you know it. It was not a trainer. It was not a trainer 300 years ago. A coach was a carriage. Do you know what a carriage is? A coach was a carriage. You know, like you have a horse, and what's behind the horse, the thing that you ride in, is called the carriage. Okay? So, 300 years ago, which country? Mike, I'm talking mostly about America or Europe. Okay? So, in Europe and America, how did you get around? If you wanted to go to the market a long time ago, if you wanted to travel someplace, how did you travel? By carriage, right? You would put your stuff in the carriage and the horses would take you there. Okay? Now, in Hungary, there is a city in Hungary, and that city's name is K-O-S-C, Kosh. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know why that didn't spell correctly. Let's try that again. K-O-S-C. I don't know why that didn't work. There it is, Kosh. That's the name of a city in Hungary. And guess what? A long time ago, I think around the 15th or 16th century, if I remember correctly. Around the 16th century, in the city of Kosh, they created a new kind of carriage that had better suspension. It had better suspension. So it was more smooth. When you would ride, sometimes when you would ride in the carriage a long time ago, it's very, it was bumpy, right? You're in the carriage, it's a very bumpy ride. But in Kosh, they made a better carriage that was a more smooth ride. So it became the most popular kind of carriage. And that's why we call it a coach. Now, what does a coach do? A coach is a trainer who helps you get to the place you're going. They help you learn, right? You want to learn, that's a place. You want to get there, just like a carriage, a coach. Okay? That's cool. That's a cool story. The word coach, meaning a modern coach, like a football coach, is related to the city of Kos in Hungary. Okay? You didn't understand carriage. 等一下，我看一下 carriage 中文怎么说 carriage。就是那个四轮马车。四轮马车，你知道四轮马车吗？Like this. That is a coach. That is a carriage, or they also call them coaches. I need a coach. So, if you're in America right now and you say, I need a coach, that means I need a teacher, a trainer, a mentor, right? But if you were in France 300 years ago and you said, I need a coach, that means I need a carriage. Coach is also a brand. That's different. That has nothing to do with this. Coach is also a brand. Yeah, they use the word coach because it's a popular word. Okay? Yeah, so again, you know, there are so many stories. Many, many words have really interesting stories behind them. Not every word, but a lot of them. Okay? Empty the Bunny says car is from carriage. Almost. I'm glad you asked that question. So, car and carriage are related. The word cart, okay? A cart is something that you pull, right? Behind you, right? So, carriage comes from cart. Where does cart come from? Cart comes from the Roman word carum. Carum, C-A-R-R-U-M, something like that. And what is a carum? I will show you a carum. This is a carum. That was the Roman word. The Roman word carum means that. So, you are right. The word carum, cart, carriage, coach, and car are all related. Okay? Then that's why we named the car power with horsepower. That's right. That's right, Mike. Although that was always like a really inaccurate way to describe it, because nobody knows how much power a horse really has. Every horse has a different amount of power, just like every person, right? It's always a funny way to say it. Horsepower, you know, depends on the horse. If you have a Clydesdale, that's different than a pony, right? And if the Clydesdale's old, that's not good. That doesn't have much power, right? So, anyway, so to go back and to answer the final question about vocabulary, how should you learn vocabulary? I told you, read. Thesaurus, thesaurus, thesaurus. By topic, and etymology. There are the 4 ways to learn vocabulary. And if you do those 4 ways, you will remember. Okay? If you do those 4 ways, you will remember. Thesaurus, Mike. Thesaurus. A thesaurus is a book. All right? Yeah. Now, I mean, look, guys, most of the things I just told you, I didn't even need to look at my phone or any book to remember. Do you know why? Because it's interesting. And if it's interesting, then it's easy to remember. It's exciting. You want to tell somebody. So the more boring something is, the less interested you are to share it. The more interesting something is, the more you want to share it. So if you want to share it, then you will remember it. Okay? That's how that works. All right? All right. Oh man, I still didn't talk to anybody else today. I'm sorry. I got talking about. I was teaching. Sorry. If somebody wants to raise their hand, they can. Let me check the comments and see if I missed any questions. Let's see. Can you read without having a good level of pronunciation? You can. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just like any child. When I was reading as a child, there were many words that I didn't know how to pronounce correctly, but I would just do my best. And then you find out later. It's okay. You know, if you pronounce a word wrong, incorrectly, and then someone corrects you later, that's okay. That's good. When you get corrected, you remember. So it's okay if you make a mistake with your pronunciation. Who cares? All right? How can you improve spoken English and listening? Amy, that's a big question. Those are two very big questions. It's going to take me a while to answer. But I think it would be better if you just go to my YouTube channel and follow. Okay? And follow me here. And I'm here almost every day answering questions. Okay? Yeah, words are a lot cooler than you think. They're a lot cooler than you think. When you find out how cool they are, then you feel like learning them by memorizing is like, why? Why would you want to learn by memorizing? That's so boring. But you can learn this other way that's much more interesting. So spend your time doing that. And because it's more interesting, it's more effective. Okay? My channel, guys, go to my link tree. Go to my link tree and you can find everything on my link tree. So you can find my website, my podcast, and my YouTube. Okay? When am I here? Amy, I'm usually here Monday through Friday, and I'm usually online here around 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. my time, which is about 9 or 10 p.m. Beijing time. Okay, so 星期一到星期二 I'm sorry, 星期一到星期五 and 大概9点跟10点 okay, 10点 sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a little bit later. Okay? Amy says communicating with native speakers every day is not the fastest way to learn. Well, no, I would say that is the fastest way to learn, but it's not a very convenient way. The majority, most people do not have the ability to practice speaking English every day. Okay? Amy, you can't click the link here. You have to copy the link and paste it. If you copy it and paste it, it will work. You can't just click it in HelloTalk. Okay? So copy and paste, and then it should work. All right? What's the difference between learn about and learn? Nothing. And nothing. About just tells you a little bit more. It just, you're being more specific, right? It doesn't really make that much of a difference, but let me just check something. Wait. So they're usually interchangeable, right? You can say either one, they're both the same. But sometimes learn is more general. It implies just a knowledge or skill. But learn about is more like becoming aware of something, or like so to learn something is like, I'm going to learn piano. Okay, so I'm going to learn to play the piano, right? But if I say I'm going to learn about the Boston Tea Party, I'm going to learn about the Statue of Liberty, that's not a skill. That's just knowledge. That's just information. That's just dates. Okay, so learn can be more general. Okay? All right. What are the best books to achieve a C1 level? Maria, I don't think the best way is with books right now. I think the best way is with ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT to write an article in C1 level for you every day. Okay? Now, if you want C1 level books, just do a Google search for C1 level books for ESL. Okay? And there will be many lists online of the best C1 level books. Now, I'm not recommending any only because there are too many. And the book I like is not going to be necessarily the same book that you like, right? So go just do a search online and you'll find many books that are C1 level. Okay? Mike says, I don't think so. I just went to a room and I tried to talk with a native speaker. Unfortunately, they're not interested to talk to me. Mike, yeah, that's right. If you think just talking is going to make you better, it's not. You have to have a plan, and you have to talk about the right things, and you have to know how to improve. Okay, so if you just go talk to people, that's okay, but it's not that beneficial. Okay? And Lena says, I think it's necessary to focus on several ways to learn, not only practicing with natives. Yeah, again, if you listen to me here and follow me regularly, you will hear about many ways to learn. Okay? Oh, yeah, Bellin, the word muscle. Yeah, muscle's a cool one. The word muscle actually means mouse. And the reason why muscle means mouse is because when you make a muscle, you see the little mouse. Look at the mouse. There's the mouse. Okay, so that's where the word muscle comes from. It's related to the word mouse because they thought when you make a muscle, you can see a mouse in the muscles. Okay? Thank you for sharing my YouTube. I appreciate it. They don't let me share it. I don't know why. I can't share it directly, but thank you. I appreciate it. Would I mind showing my YouTube? Sure. Yeah, I suppose I can do that. Let's see here. One moment. Where is my YouTube? I'll just do it here. Your videos. All right. So yeah, I think it's going to look different because this is my account. So, but I'll show it to you. Okay. When you look at it, it might not look quite the same, right? But here are videos. These are older videos here. Let's see. Where's the most recent ones? Like right here. Okay, there you go. So videos, lots and lots of videos. Okay? So go to my YouTube and check it out. AFIEC English. Okay, that's my account. All right, now I'm going to try to talk to one more person, then I got to go. Who wants to talk to me for a few minutes before I go? Anybody? Raise your hand. Come talk. You watch the Franklin every day. What's the Franklin? I don't know what that is. You have to raise your hand. There's a button. Rana, you have to click the button to raise your hand. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't get to you today, Raymond. Next time, Raymond, okay? Next time. Okay, let's try Malgorzata. Well, that's an interesting name. Oh, no. Okay, how about Kishan? Kishan, do you want to come talk to me? Do you have a question? Rana, I cannot invite you if you don't raise your hand. There is a button that you must press so that I can invite you up on stage. Okay? What's the song that I played yesterday? I don't remember. Do you mean at the beginning of my live stream? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's actually a song from my band. That's a song called Modestly. Do a search. If you go to YouTube and do a search for Modestly Sugar Camp Music. If you search for that, Modestly Sugar Camp Music, I think you'll find that song. Yeah, that's my band. I'm glad you like it. Okay, I'm trying to invite people, but nobody is raising their hand. Raise your hand. There's a button. You have to click the button or I can't do it. Raise your hand. August says, I have difficulty in pronouncing TH sounds. Can I say some words and the word literally? So, those are two different problems, August. The word literally is the reason why you have trouble with it. Well, one reason is because many people don't understand about the pronunciation of the letter T. The letter T in English, when you say it slowly, the words that have T's in them are pronounced sharply. Like, for example, the word better. When you say it slowly, it's not better, it's better. Okay? But when you say it more quickly, it becomes better. Like a soft D. And many people call it a soft D. But I think it's better if you still think of it like it's a T, but it's a T that they cut in half. So you're only saying the very first part of the T and then you cut it off. Okay? So that's the other reason why literally is hard is because it has the R and the L in it. But it's not that bad. Literally. So there's that one. The TH sounds. The TH sounds, if you want to work on TH sounds, you need to learn how to put your tongue between your teeth. Okay, like this. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. The tongue is in between the teeth. And then, August, there are two different ways to pronounce the TH. There's the voiced TH and the unvoiced TH. Okay, so a voiced TH is the one that sounds like this, that, these, those. So when you listen to that TH, these. It has that sound, that buzzing sound, right? But the word thank you does not have that same buzzing sound, right? So that's the difference between a voiced th, this, and an unvoiced th, thank you. All right? And then the secret, August, is you have to practice the way I am. Make the th sound longer, because if it's too short, then it goes by too quickly, and your brain and your mouth don't have time to really learn how to fix it. So if you make it longer and stretch it out, then your brain now has more time to see it and go, oh, I see what you're trying to do now. Okay, so make the th sound longer. Or if it's an R sound or a V sound or a W, whatever sound is difficult for you, stretch it, make it longer when you practice it. Okay? With, that's unvoiced, that's right, with. It's just air. You're just blowing air. That's right. How do you say back? Back. B-a-k. B-a-k. Back. And yes, I am a drummer and a teacher. I am not a singer. All right. I guess nobody wants to come raise their hand. Oh well, that's okay. All right. Well, that's going to be it for me today then. I've had enough. Oh, there! Finally somebody. Okay, Clara wants to come talk, and Tomas. We'll talk to Clara first, and then Tomas. Give me 1 second to talk to Clara, Tomas, and then I'll talk to you. Clara, you want to come talk to me? There's Clara.
Hello.
Hello, Clara.
Hello, Teacher Mark.
Xin Chao.
Xin chào.
How are you today?
Yes, I'm good. Today is Friday, so tomorrow is my day off. So I think it's a happy day to me.
Good. Okay. So you're in Vietnam. In what city? Where are you?
Living in Hanoi is the capital in
Okay.
Vietnam.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And what can I do for you today? Do you have a question for me or something I can help you with?
Yes, I have met trouble with my pronunciation. So my pronunciation so it's not soft and a little bit hard. For example, I asked you how to the pronunciation to back.
Mhm.
So it's not soft like you. It's so very hard. Back.
No, you're doing fine. I'm going to help you. I have some things that I can tell you that I think will help you. Okay. So I don't speak Vietnamese, but I have heard Vietnamese a lot, and I have some friends who are Vietnamese, so I've listened to it. And I am a musician, so my ears are musicians' ears, so I listen differently than most people do. Okay. And when I hear Vietnamese, when I learned about it, Vietnamese has a very short, sharp sound to it, because someone told me, one of my friends told me that Vietnamese, like everything is single syllable words. So when you speak Vietnamese, it has kind of a short, sharp sound, like everything has like a, it's much more short and sharp, right? But English is not like that. English is flowing, and the words flow together like this, right? So there's a very big rhythm difference between Vietnamese and English, okay? Now, one way that you can practice that is by singing.
Singing.
Yeah, if you sing, when you sing, it's natural to put the words together smoothly. Because when you sing, you have to take one big breath and then sing all the words together. So because you have one breath and then all the words, they will come together nicely. Okay? So singing is a really good way, especially if you're Vietnamese, to learn how to connect the words more smoothly. Okay? Now, another thing is that Vietnamese is kind of like Chinese because they both have a small mouth when you
Small mouth.
speak. Yeah. But English, especially American English, it's a big mouth, especially the vowel sounds. Okay? The vowel sounds are very important in English. If you make a mistake when with a consonant like a T or a V, most people will still understand you. But if you make a mistake with a vowel, you might actually confuse somebody. They might hear you and go, "What? What is that? I don't know." If you say a T the wrong way, probably they're going to understand you. If you say an S the wrong way, probably they're going to understand you. But if you say an A the wrong way, or an E the wrong way, or an I the wrong way, it might confuse someone. So, there are two ways to pronounce vowels in English. We have the long sounds and the short sounds, right? The long and the short sounds. So, long sounds are the ones A, E, I, O, U. And look at my mouth when I do it. Watch how big. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. I know it looks crazy. I know it looks big. But that's why it's very clear, because it's big. Right? So the more you open your mouth, the more clear your words will be in English. Okay? When I speak Chinese, and when I speak Chinese, I have to do the opposite. I have to make my mouth smaller because if I speak Chinese with a big mouth, it sounds weird. It sounds very weird. But if I make them small mouth, it sounds better. Okay? So, if you do those things, make a bigger mouth and practice your vowels, right? So we did the long vowels. Now there's the short vowels also, right? Like ah, I, o, That's A, E, I, O, U, the short ones. That's ah, I, o, And if you watch my mouth, the A sound, is very big, like you're eating an apple. Put an apple in your hand and imagine you're going to take a bite. Ah, that's how big your mouth has to be. Ah, apple, okay? You're going to eat an apple, it's a big mouth, okay? So, is big. The E sound is a little smaller. So, I. It's big, medium, small. A, E, I. I. You see? Big, medium, small. Okay? And then, let's see. This is, I use my hands to help me. So, is your mouth is like a circle. So, That's A, E, I, O, U. Okay? And if you practice those, you can combine them. You can put them together with the consonants. So, for example, B. B, 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 ba, ba, ba. Right? We know B. Now put B together with the consonants. You can say a, I, o, and now you can say ba, ba, bi, ba, ba. Ka, ki, ka, d, da, di, da, f, fa, fi, fa, g, ga, gi, ga. Now, I know this sounds funny, like what is this? This is a baby language. Sounds like babies talking, right?
It's so difficult for me to.
No,
I
it's not.
cannot sing anything. So my voice is not soft. I think it's so hard.
You can do it. You can do it. I'm explaining a lot, right? This is a lot in one thing. So, Clara, if you can, you should go buy a lesson from me. And I can give you one lesson in 30 minutes, and I can help you learn how to do this. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
all you need is just one lesson, and I can show you how to do this, and I can give you my notes so you can practice it. Okay?
Yes.
You just think it's a lot because it's too much to remember for you. You can't remember it all. But if I gave it to you and it was written down and I showed you and I gave you a video, then you'd say, oh, I can do that.
Mhm.
Okay?
So how I can join your class?
If you go to my website, they have information there about how you can buy my lessons. Okay? So go to my website. If you go to afiecenglish.com, I'm writing it right now. That's my website right there. Okay, if you go there, then you can follow and you can find my my lessons, and you can buy one or buy a package. Okay, if you buy a package, it's a little bit cheaper. Okay, and some people when they go to my website, they say, "Oh my God, it's too expensive," but it's really not. Okay, and you need to remember, I live in America. Everything's expensive here, and also, if you can't afford to buy lessons from me forever, I understand that. But you don't need to. If you buy just one lesson from me or 5 lessons from me, I promise I will make it worthwhile. That means what you will learn will be a lot. Okay? So, you don't need to get a lot of lessons, just a few. Okay? And Lena is asking me about the R sound, how you can pronounce the R sound correctly. And the R sound is a very important sound in English. It's strange because many languages don't have the R sound. So that's why it's many people, it's very difficult for them to make an R. I think that the word car is a great word because it's so short. Okay, so if you practice the word car, and when you say it, pull it like this, car. Okay, make it long, because that will give your mouth time to find the right position. Okay, if it's too short, you can't find it. All right, so Clara, you can do it. By the way, Clara, you actually sound pretty good.
Thank you so much.
I speak to a lot of Vietnamese people, and your accent is not that strong at all for Vietnamese. Yeah.
But when I record my voice, I listen again. So I think that is so terrible and it's hard and not soft like other.
Well, guess what? Everyone hates the sound of their own voice. Even me, I hate the sound of my own voice too. Some people say, you sound so good, your voice is so good. I hate the sound of my voice. So, it's normal.
That it's like a baby.
Well,
So,
okay. Well, the reason why it's a baby is because of what I was talking about earlier. When babies talk, what do babies do? Ga, gu, ga, gu, ga, gu, ga, gu, ga, gu. And there's the same sound like Vietnamese. It has that same sharp, short sound. That's why it sounds kind of like a baby. And that's why I said what you need to do is learn how to sing it. So let's try something. I want you to just sing a very simple thing with one note. Just one note. So you're just going to say, my name is Clara. Try. Come on, you can do it. My name is Clara. You can do it. Come on, try.
it's so,
Okay, wait.
it's so sad.
Watch me one more time. First, you take a breath. Take a breath. That's important because the one breath is going to give you the sound. That's all your sound is coming from the one breath. So just take a deep breath and then say, my name is Clara.
My name is Clara.
Much better! Because you're singing, the words were smooth. They came together smoothly. Not like a baby.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay? It works. You just have to try. And don't worry about being embarrassed. You know, embarrassment is a really funny thing because people are so afraid of embarrassment. But let me ask you a question. If you want to be good, do you want to be good? Who wants to be good here? How many of you want to be good? If you want to be good or great, then there is a cost. You have to pay a cost for greatness. And do you know what the cost is? The cost of greatness is embarrassment. Anybody
Yeah.
who is great anybody who is great, they had to learn how to be great. And to learn how, they had to make mistakes. And when they made a mistake, they were embarrassed. So,
Yeah.
everybody who's great was embarrassed. So maybe you should be too. It's okay to be embarrassed if you learn. Okay, so the cost of greatness is embarrassment.
Got it.
All right?
Yeah.
But you sound really good, Clara, and I think if you listen to the tips I gave you about using a big mouth and singing to try to make it more smooth, I think you'll do fine. All right?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
got it. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Okay, take care, Clara, and come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Bye-bye.
Okay,
See
bye-bye.
you.
Okay, I'm going to go, but before I go, Lena says, in Arabic we pronounce the R differently. Yes, I know you do, but that's the Arabic R. That's not a proper English R. It's one of the things, if you speak Arabic, the R is probably the most important sound for you to work on, okay? When you say the Arabic R, for example, the word shukran, 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 it's not a shukran. It's not a kra, it's kra. There's the flip of the tongue, right? You flip the tongue just quickly, right? Shukran, kran, right? It's got that. But if you want to learn the American R, it's not like that. The American R is a long sound and it doesn't flip the tongue. Okay? Okay. Amy, I already explained about how to do TH earlier. I did it, so you have to go watch the video. Go watch this. I'm going to end right now, and this video will be uploaded to YouTube. Go watch it. I already explained about TH. I'm tired. I need a break. I've been here for 2 hours. 1 hour and 58 minutes. That's 1 hour more than I should. So I have to go. But it was nice to be here. Thank you guys for watching and following. Here is my website one more time. If you go here, you can follow me. You can follow my website. You can follow my podcast. You can follow my YouTube. All right there. Okay, I'm on Hello Talk about 5 or 6 times a week. I have about 82,000 followers here. And I am a real teacher. That's why people follow me. Okay? Amy, it should be loaded right now. As soon as I'm done here, it should be loaded. Okay? All right, I need to go. Thank you. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening, wherever you live. See you next time.